great toys like this and more, head over to Big Bad Toy Store. Click the link in the description below.
What's going on, guys? T2RX6 here, back for another office review, and today I figured we'd take a look at a Transformers animated toy. As I've been packing up my house while I work on moving, one of the things I messed with has been animated, which gave me this resurgence in wanting to get all of the ones I don't have. One of them being Toxitron here, who is just obviously a repaint of Optimus Prime, the Voyager, in super garish colors, orange and purple and lime green or pea green or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I kind of love this guy. I just like the colors, and I'm not sad to be working on completing an animated collection here. Here's the Combiner Wars Prime. For size comparison, overall I'd say they feel about the same, and I guess you can't really judge the paint job difference because this is a convention exclusive, and this is just a retail release. But even the regular animated toys felt like they have more paint than this guy, and certainly the pinned wheels just work way better than these. But you know, I was kind of surprised there wasn't really that big of a difference, but still, something feels better about the animated toys versus the current toys. So on the back, you of course got his gun here, which if I recall correct is a water gun. You just kind of push that in. I believe you just fill it that way too. I don't really remember, because who puts water in their toys? Not me. So yeah, we put that aside, and then we have his axe here, which comes off to make part of the trailer, and yeah, just kind of flip everything out here to make an axe. So there's that piece, and you can do whatever you want with this like spoilery type piece. I just leave it up. But yeah, we got that, and then there we go. There's the core Toxitron figure. Alright, so let's transform Toxitron here. We're going to start by disconnecting the bumper here, split the legs, rotate the wheels on in, fold these down, and fold the bumper down, and you have a tab here, and then the front of the bumper just kind of sits in that groove. It doesn't actually tab in. All the tabbing is at the bottom. So we'll do that again, fold this down, bring this in like this, tab it on into place, then, whoops, hands need to hold him for transformation. Flip his legs, or his feet out, and extend his legs out. Now the next part is like a gimmick that tends to not work very well. We'll see if it happens. You're supposed to hold this and push this, and then yeah, it's not really, it doesn't really do it. This is all supposed to spin and rotate around, which is one of the complaints about this toy. I remember specifically when these toys released, people complaining about the loose torso. Not everybody realized that you click it down and it actually stops that. So once we got that, we flip these on open, lift the top off here, and then bring the arms out from the sides and disconnect them from the gray piece here. And then you can bring the gray piece down, flip his head up, flip the gray piece back up so it locks it in place, and then flip that all the way down. We're pretty much done. We just have to bring his fists on out and plug the little black piece into the fist, just like so. Yeah, and there you go. We've got Toxitron in his robot mode. So in his robot mode here, look at that light piping. I mean, that light piping is picking up the office lights just amazingly. He looks so good. On the back of Toxitron there is a little switch here that if you rotate it up and down will actually bring the faceplate away or pull it on out. I do wish it did retract a little bit more, but I don't actually think it looks bad given the aesthetic of Transformers Animated. It almost looks like it folds down and becomes like a chin guard type thing, so it's not bad. Man, that light piping is brutal on this guy. Of course, he has his weapons. You can give him his gun. He holds it just fine. No complaints there. And of course, his enormous axe. This is probably the accessory I prefer to have him hold. So yeah, that looks pretty good. Talking articulation on this guy, well, let's not talk articulation. As you guys know, this is just a repaint of Optimus Prime. If you know the story that came with BotCon, well, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's also decent enough reason for the way he is like this. But one thing that I thought was real interesting, reading about Transformers Animated, if you notice, he has this like kind of back with an arched forward, so his chest is sticking out. I remember reading about that and designers saying that arched forward look like that actually makes, it's kind of reminiscent of a comic book, like your Supermans and stuff. They all kind of have this like bowed look to them like that to give them a heroic look. Which is why they did that, which I think is pretty interesting. I don't know about anybody else, but I was interested, so now you guys know. Articulation on this guy, he has a head swivel. It would be nice if there was a joint there, but I guess given the limitations of what they're doing with the faceplate, they can't really do too much. Arms are fairly crazy. This is a little bit loose. I'm not terribly crazy about it, the in and out motion, based on how it's pinned. But it's not really a deal breaker for me. What separates this guy from like your modern things to me is parts count, because look at this shoulder. So this shoulder can be articulated out, so you have the swivel, then another swivel, and then another swivel for pretty great range of motion or whatever you want to do with it. There's things you can do with these that you can't do with the modern just pinned shoulder. Bicep swivel, a nice looking elbow joint. I think it looks pretty good in all positions. It doesn't tend to look terribly weird. I guess if you go all the way back the other way, I don't know. You actually have another joint that I don't think really gets too much play. Actually, maybe it comes into play on the truck mode, but you can actually bend his elbow inwards, which is a little bit strange. Of course, the waist, which I just showed you, the universal joint on the legs, a knee swivel, and then nothing down at the feet. Overall, though, this guy is just very striking, very visually striking. The colors look awesome on him. Yeah, the only thing is he may not be your cup of tea if you're not a fan of animated, but well, we'll get to that at the end. Just for a quick comparison, here he is next to the Combiner Wars Motor Master. Again, about the same size, about the same weight. I definitely think that Motor Master is lacking in some parts count, and he doesn't visually pop the same way. There's definitely a lot less, as my friend Skullface would say, licks of paint on this guy as there are on Toxitron here. Yeah, and something about the plastic. The plastic on this guy feels closer to your knockoff quality, where this is the plastic that, I came back into the franchise expecting from toys. So, final thoughts on old Toxitron here. I absolutely love him. He was well worth picking up. I have no complaints, especially if you're an animated fan. You really should get this guy. If you haven't checked out animated because it doesn't aesthetically, please you, I would say give it a go. When I first saw pictures of animated, I thought it was dumb. I thought it was actually going to be a cash-in, like anime was starting to get popular thanks to things like Pokemon, and we had already done the Gotta Catch 'em All with Armada and Minicon, so I just thought that, this was just the next step. And I didn't give it much credit, but I ended up checking it out, and it's by far probably my second favorite piece of fiction, at least animated fiction, because it's well written, and it's nice. The aesthetics, I kind of got over them and actually really enjoy them now. So I'd say check them out, and if you're not going to do that, then at least, find a Voyager Optimus Prime who can be had relatively cheap online and check out the mold, because it is a very fun line with very expressive features. So this is T2RX6. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I'll see you next time.